Just amazing to see the community turn out, and also just to be with the team. The contributions of Figma Inc's past, present, and also just all the things we've learned and continue to learn from our community. They all just kind of show up today in physical manifestation, and I couldn't be more grateful.
I mean, the vibes, there's a live DJ, there's so many of your employee base, as you say, your Figmates, those who have backed you early. Why this? Why this? What does it show about your community?
Well, I mean, what we really want to do is involve the design community in this experience today that we're having, because I think it's not just that Figma is going public today, design is going public today.
Yeah.
And if you think back several decades, back 20 years ago, the sort of mindset was that design was lipstick on a pig. This is how you make it pretty. And maybe a decade ago, it was design is how it works. And then today, 2025, in a world where software, the competition is increasing so much, it's easier than ever to create software.
Yes.
I think we're now in a world where design is the differentiator. That's been our thesis for 10 years. We've seen it play out, but it's even more clear now that design, craft, point of view, that's what sets companies apart. And so we're just trying to be this engine for product design and development. And to be able to celebrate design today with all of our friends and community is such a privilege.
What sets you apart to be able to enable design versus the whole plethora of generative AI startups that are suddenly here and on the scene and making things very cheap to build, as you say, design?
Yeah, I think that there's such an opportunity for us with Figma Make to be able to help people go from prompt all the way to app. And we're very focused on that and improving that surface area. We have so much more to come there. But already, you can not only do things through prompting, but you can also copy and paste things in from your Figma design, your canvas, into Figma Make. And there are times you want to edit via prompt. There are also times you want to edit in a more direct manipulation way, where you go into the canvas and you're able to see many different options in the option space. We think both are important and both have to work really well together. And so that's something we're excited to uniquely enable. And I just think in general, we're kind of in this MS-DOS era of AI. And if we're able to get to the point where we really, well, it's true. And if we're able to get to the point, I mean, I used to say Telnet era, and people are like, what's Telnet? So, stopped with that and went to MS-DOS. But if we're able to get to this point where people can really explore the latent space of these models and what can be generated and see the entire option space of what they can do, then humans, designers, can add that craft and really figure out how to differentiate. And also have the system in their head, not just the design and the technology system, but also the business constraints. And that's why it's important to lower the floor, raise the ceiling, bring more people into the design process.
So that $1.2 billion that you raised through this process, where does that go? Where does that get allocated to ensure that you're building? Well,
so one thing that was unique about this transaction was because of the cash balance we have at Figma, due to rounds we've raised but never really used, cash that we've generated, and also the breakup fee, we had quite a cash balance. And so it's a transaction that is a lot of secondary, and then there's some primary, but mostly for the release of RSUs, and so it's more synthetic primary. And so I mean, we already have quite the cash balance. It's more or less what we're exiting the transaction with. And when we think about the future of how to deploy that, first of all, we want to be good stewards of capital always. But I did put my founder letter in the S1.
Yeah.
Expect us to make bold moves. And I want people to know that in the investment community, because we're going to invest in AI. We're going into an investment cycle here. And it's important people are aware of that.
You are going to invest. You're not going to be focusing on profitability. You're going to be focusing on growth.
We are focusing on growth. And we're focusing on all the great things that we can do right now and enable for our users, the value we can create for our customers.
Do you think the public markets are going to give you that bandwidth?
Well, that's their choice. That's why I want to make sure I called it out up front.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I think is important to note is, in terms of big swings, can't say when or if, but my intention is to do big swings when it comes to scaled M&A.
Okay.
And
what kind of companies?
Well, when I think about how we approach the process, we're always surveying. We're always trying to learn. And there's so much that can be applicable to Figma when you think of the breadth of product design and development and that entire process, which we're really trying to cover. And not all the gaps we have will be filled with us building or buying. A lot of them will be partnerships. But I wanted to call it out because for scaled M&A, as you do that, it's often misinterpreted by markets. It creates volatility. People get, sometimes they don't understand the really good stuff. And obviously, we'll be prudent. It has to be an amazing team, an amazing asset. It has to be something that we think the team is culturally consistent, the least, but preferably culture add.
Yeah.
And they're going to create new dimensionality to our culture that we didn't have before, and we're going to learn from them. But third, and most importantly, it has to be a main priority going forward. That's the minimum.
Yeah.
And we will hold a high bar for if and when we do that.
To our TV and radio audiences, we're with Dylan Field, the CEO of Figma, which has just gone public. And if we cast our minds back, the valuation that you're currently at looks at about $20 billion, and that was the amount that Adobe wanted to pay to buy you. That didn't work out. So just talking about M&A, was this the right path to be independent? How does that make you feel?
I mean, we've been so focused on this path for years now, and I'm just really excited to be here today. The Adobe stuff kind of feels like so long ago now.
Yeah.
And yeah, just as we look forward, I mean, there's so much to build and such breadth of opportunity. We have, like I said in the founder letter, more ideas than ever.
Yeah.
And it's all about prioritization, and it's all about clarity for the team. And that's what we're trying to do, is to create that clarity.
I mean, talking about demand, you were 40 times oversubscribed. To those retail investors that want to get in on this, what do you say for the short term if the shares pop?
The only message I can give you if you're on the retail side is understand what we do. We have our S1 out there. We've done our best to present it in a really readable way. Read the document and look at our numbers, understand where we're headed and what we offer, play with the product.
Yeah.
Become a designer. I think that's true for a lot of people and a lot of companies. If design's how you win or lose, you should be part of the process too. But the more you can dive in and the better you can understand it, the better you can make a decision on things. And that's the main advice I give anyone, whether they're joining Figma, trying to invest in Figma. Those are both investments.
Yeah.
Of time, of money, and that's important, is to deeply understand it.